Well, now that the government shutdown is almost over, something I'm sure we're all celebrating since there are actual problems to solve and focus on in the country. Hakeem Jeffries, however, and the Democrat clown posse who created those shutdowns, and this one specifically, are now back to their usual playbook of Trump derangement syndrome, this time bringing the hypocrisy of pardons into the mix.
Well, Donald Trump, in terms of the exercise of his pardon power and commutations, is completely and totally out of control. Like, he can find the time to pardon a serial fraudster like George Santos, but can't find any time to sit down with Democrats on Capitol Hill who represent half the country in order to address the healthcare crisis that Republicans have created. That's devastating people in urban America, rural America, working class America, small town America, the heartland of America, and black and brown communities throughout America.
So now it's about pardons, really? Because you really want to go there, Hakeem Jeffries? Do you really want to go there? Joe Biden, who pardoned 8,317 people, 8,316 were auto-pen and one wasn't. Who was that? Oh, yeah, your son. That's where you want to go. And by the way, 8,317, several of them were child rapists. Several, more than one. And you're worried about Donald Trump pardoning George Santos, who likes to dress up like a woman once in a while. Okay, I thought you guys liked that stuff anyway. Who would have thought that the person with the most common sense among the Democrats, at least for now, would turn out to be John Fetterman, of all people? The ladies of The View are eating their own. We showed you yesterday how Sunny Hostin called for Chuck Schumer to step down. Well, now she's taken to try to smack John Fetterman around, and he wasn't going to have it.
Democrats had big wins last week, so you had momentum. Why give in now? Why bring a butter knife to a gunfight? Are you willing to gamble that the GOP will negotiate on health care in good faith once the government reopens? Because if that gamble is wrong, 500,000 Pennsylvanians that you represent, their health care costs will skyrocket if you are wrong.
And I don't need a lecture. I don't need a lecture from whether it's Bernie or the governor in California, because they are representing very deep blue kinds of populations. And a lot of those things were part of the extreme. And now remember, what really needs to win, the big win is involving my state and other states and those things. And why have we arrived here after the election a year ago? We got to forget some of the things that cost us that election. Or now for me, it's like, that's why I'm trying to remind people that kinds of the extremism, we can't return to those kind of things.
He turned out to be almost right wing. I mean, he's smart. You know, he had a stroke, almost died, had a stroke, still was elected senator. He was out there. We were ripping him. We were saying he shouldn't have run. He shouldn't have been the senator. Turns out we were all wrong, because the guy actually has some sort of soul. Think about this for a second. People are ripping me and ripping MTG for supporting her. Ripping me for supporting and ripping her. Look at this guy. Can you imagine what they're doing to this guy on the Democrat side right now? Good for you, John Fetterman. Stand up for what you believe. Stand up for what you believe. And that goes both ways, folks. Jasmine Crockett has spent most of the past couple of years inciting violence, defending violence, and calling Republicans racist, even Nazis. But now one of the least qualified members of Congress is worried about her own safety. So she wants protection. And yes, that's right. She wants who? She wants not her donors. She wants you and I to pay for it.
I think that it's really a good question as to why a member of Congress needs to pay for security out of money that they go and raise, instead of focusing on making sure that they use that money to educate voters about why it is that their candidacy matters. I do think that it does people like me a disservice when you are so outspoken. And then what happens is, instead of you being able to put all your dollars into campaigning, instead, you've got to do things like pay for your security. But I kind of value my life, so it is what it is. And it is what it is.
Do you remember Congresswoman Cori Bush, the Capitol, the U.S. Capitol steps, when she was calling to defund the police, and then we found out that she had spent $70,000 on personal security over the last year, $70,000 on her own security, and she said defund the police for everyone else. And they called her. They called her out on this. You want me to die? They're such hypocrites. Incredible. Meanwhile, the traitorous and treasonous global weasel, also known as Gavin Newsom, is down in Brazil slamming America, just like a good little globalist China soldier would.
I worry now, though. That sounds like some of my colleagues and friends in the United States Senate, some of my Democratic colleagues just decided that we're playing by the old set of rules, not the new set of rules, and may have rolled over a little bit. So I love your question. It's the right question. I want to be part of that answer as an American citizen, not as a governor, as the ex-governor of California. But right now, we've got to hold the line because I think America will become unrecognizable in a year or two unless we fight back.
I think California has become unrecognizable to the rest of America. Like I said, take that border fence from the south, bring it up north on the eastern side of the state of California. Maybe even keep Washington State and Oregon as well. Keep those three states. Give it to Canada. Trade that Canada. Give us Toronto. How's that? Here's a little more America hating from the Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, who makes little to no sense from what we've heard in hearings and who refused to define what a woman was. Remember that at her own confirmation hearing. Here's a little more.
What keeps you up at night?
I would say the state of our democracy. I would say that I am really very interested in getting people to focus and to invest and to pay attention to what is happening in our country and in our government.
We're a Democratic Republic. We are a Democratic Republic, and the way things are going, we might end up with two countries. Who knows? When a Democrat disagrees with your opinions, you're either deemed a fascist, a racist, a Nazi. But if a Democrat disagrees with your policy, particularly when it comes to protecting voting integrity in America, they might even toss in a little reference to Jim Crow. But when you really, 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 really know they have nothing left in their playbook, it's when they add the reference to slavery, like Illinois Speaker of the House Chris Welch does, to defend and protect their favorite thing in the world, illegal migrants who eventually they want to vote. Watch.
And by answering that question with telling you I don't believe anyone is an illegal alien. That's a terrible term to use about anyone.
It's a legal term.
It's not a legal term. They used to call black people slaves legally, and it was wrong. Let's stop dehumanizing people. Let's start treating people right.
It's in the books. It's a legal term. Illegal alien is in the books. Change it. You don't like it? Change it. Don't call it racist. There's probably Democrats who voted for that to be the word too, so stop. You really can't make this stuff up. We all know about the mostly peaceful fiasco during the violent Black Lives Matter riots of 2020 and the protests during the so-called Summer of Love. The mainstream media just can't help themselves. They love showing actual images of violence and claiming that what you see is not what you actually see, even though we're actually going to show it to you.
Event. Our Amanda Harry is live on the scene there where protesters also showed up. We've already actually seen at least one fight break out. Amanda.
Yeah, things have been lively here. While that Turning Point USA event is still happening inside, protesters have been out here for hours. You can see them still here behind me. They have been chanting, just a very, very lively scene out here. While things have been mostly peaceful, there have been some tense moments. Earlier this evening, there was a scuffle that broke out where two men started fighting. UC Berkeley police had to break up that interaction. Later, someone was throwing smoke bombs and a car backfired, leading some of the people who were protesting to run away.
What's mostly peaceful about that? What the hell is wrong with them? Didn't they learn their lesson calling 2020 a mostly peaceful Summer of Love protest when people died, billions upon billions of dollars of damage? That's not peaceful. Dudes beating the crap out of each other is not peaceful. Smoke bombs in people's face isn't peaceful. And what the hell are they protesting outside of Turning Point USA? Charlie Kirk was assassinated by one of theirs. Wow, are they morons? Finally, Kamala Harris' Grand Delusions book tour continues, where people are more than happy to reel her in for a word salad here and there. Here's another one for our viewing pleasure.
How I felt, I have not had a feeling remotely similar since my mother died. I was grieving for the American people because I knew what was going to happen.
She's the leading contender on 2028. There's a poll out 2 days ago. Leading contender for the Democrats in 2028. That is going to be just delicious. Who do you think it's going to be on the Republican side? Who do you think? I have a new thought. I'll bring it out later. All right, I'm going to do this. Talk about The Edge. This is amazing. I promise you. I told you, guess. You guys are amazing. You subscribed. You guessed. I don't think anyone got it. Maybe you did. I didn't see anyone who actually got it. It's Patrick Bet David. The guy was a Christian living in Iran. His family came over to the United States. He was dead, poor, broke, getting fights. He worked at Burger King. He worked at a Gold's Gym. He had no money, and somehow he figured out a way. And that's what we do at The Edge. We figure out who makes it and how they made it. Where did they find their edge? Do me a favor. Hit that QR code with your camera, little yellow line, press, you automatically subscribe. I promise you, no fees, nothing, never gonna charge you, never gonna email you anything, just pushes us up the ladder at YouTube. It's been amazing. YouTube.com/@EricBollingTheEdge, YouTube.com/@EricBollingTheEdge. You guys are amazing. You come out in droves. You have us growing faster, 125 times faster than other new YouTube channels. Top 1/10 because of you. I appreciate your viewership. I appreciate you sharing the word, and I especially appreciate if you hit subscription right now. Thank you. We'll be back 2.5 minutes.